So we inspected this colony 2 days ago. I didn't get a chance to get into them yesterday afternoon. I had to visit one of our apiaries and I just needed to assess a couple of things that were going on there. But we inspected this colony. We were hoping to find that the virgin queen that we'd put in the bottom had started laying. Wasn't the case. In fact, there's an emergency cell that they've drawn there now. It was sealed 2 days ago, and my concern is now that might have hatched already, or it'll be very close to being hatched. So I want to get into this colony, and I've made up my mind as to what to do, because we've got an emergency cell at the bottom. It's a bit smaller than the supersedure cell that we've got at the top. The supersedure cell at the top is a bit of a bigger cell, probably will be a better quality queen. The supersedure cell at the top, we saw it was being raised right from the egg stage. The emergency cell at the bottom, there's a chance that they drew that from a day or 2 day old larva. So if all things work out well here, what I'd like to be doing is I want to be removing that emergency cell from the bottom, and then what I'd like to do is actually move the frame with the supersedure cell on down below the queen excluder, and I'm going to leave the queen and I'll allow her to continue laying at the top. So that's the plan. So let's open it up and have a look. Again, I'm lifting this straight off with the queen excluder so that we can keep the queen at the top, and I want to see if that queen has hatched at the bottom. If this queen has hatched at the bottom, we need to then try and find her. I'm going straight for the middle frame again, because that was where I saw the queen cell on our last inspection. Okay, there's the emergency cell. It's still sealed at the bottom, so I'm glad to see that queen hasn't hatched yet. So I'm going to just be removing her. I'm going to just be removing that cell. So all I'm going to do, I don't want the cell, so I'm just going to break it off. And it was actually empty. Amazing, it was actually empty. I'll show you here. Open it up a bit. You can see it was actually empty inside there. I just want to have a good look through the bottom here again and make sure that our queen isn't here that we put in, because with that being a sealed cell, she might not have ripped it open. It's amazing, they know when there's not a larva in the cell. And I'm just going to bring that camera a bit closer. I see I've still got you quite far away there. I apologize about that. You're a bit far away, but I'm hoping that you managed to see where I've pulled that cell off and that cell was empty. So that does make me feel a little bit better about it. They've still got a little bit of sealed brood there that they're finishing up with, but I'm just wanting to look for the queen, just to see if we don't still have that queen in the bottom here. She might just not have started laying yet, so let's have a quick look through. The bees are relatively calm today. There's not so much robbing going on here, so it'll give us a bit of time just to have another look in here as well. I'm really surprised that queen didn't go out and mate. One of the things I was thinking about after inspecting them is, if you can recall in the video where I introduced her, I had her on the frame and she actually fell off into the box, and then she was crawling on the one frame. And what could have happened during that time is she might have then come across as an intruder to one or two of the worker bees in the bottom, and they might have killed her off. I don't see her in here, so we definitely don't have a queen in here. So now what I'm going to do is just leave this frame next to the box for now. I'm not worried because there's no queen on there. I want to find the frame inside this box now that had the super seeder cell on it, and I'm going to drop that down into the bottom here, and making sure that I don't take the queen with me out of here. So just a little bit of smoke so that they know we're coming. The bees are nice and calm today. So yeah, I'm going to start with the end frame. I want to get this frame out of my way so that I can make sure I don't squash the queen or anything in the process here. Just going to lift that slowly. Keep that on the side here. The bees are drawing this out really nicely. Look at that drawn comb, eh? Really, they're going to work in the top chamber here. You can see the white on the tops of the frames as well. That's a good indication that the bees are busy building up. They're busy expanding. If you look at it from this angle, you see the white that's along here. That's what you always see when you look down on your frames. You always see that, and you know that the bees are building. Lots of young brood in there. Just want to find that super seeder cell that's on the next frame, but I'm just having a look as we go. If I spot the queen, which I have, yeah, she is up here where the hive tool is. So now that I know she's there, I don't even have to worry about shaking bees off or anything. I can just leave that frame there. I can pull my frame with the super seeder cell on it straight out. This is good brood now. You can see this is a good brood pattern, and they're busy expanding the brood nest. There's lots of eggs around the side of it, so this swarm is building up nicely. It actually really is. I'm just looking for that frame with the super seeder cell on it. And there it is. It's a beautiful cell, that. Really is a lovely cell. So because I know I found my queen on the other frame, I don't have to shake these bees off. I don't even have to look for the queen. I know that she's in the top box still. So this frame now goes down into the middle here. Just want to be careful that I don't damage that cell as I slip it in, but it's gone past, so it's good. Okay, and then this frame will obviously go into the top, and the queen will have some more space to lay on there. And then I just rectify this brood chamber very slowly, move the frames back to normal, and I put this sheet of foundation back in. And that's it. So now I want to see if they start to build anew. So now I'm going to pick it up straight with the queen excluder, straight on the top. I mean, we haven't messed these bees around too much either. This box is a little bit wobbly, I keep noticing, so I'm going to just try and straighten it up when I close it up now as well. But let's just close them up. Done with them. And I just want to see if I can sort out why it's so wobbly. That's already better. Still got a slight wobble, but that's a lot better. Yeah, it's alright. That's a lot better. Okay, feeder back on. So we finished off with this box now, and that was quite an easy one. We just found that emergency cell at the bottom that we saw 2 days ago. We pulled it off and it was empty. I've actually got it here and I'm going to show you. So you can see here, that's what the inside of that cell looks like. That larva had died inside there. It never fully developed, and you can see it's brown, it's died in there. So that was the cell at the bottom. So what would have originally happened in here is when we put that brood below the queen excluder and we put that virgin queen in, the bees would have realized that there's no queen at the bottom where that brood is. The queen pheromones are also then restricted because the top queen can't get down. And I think we lost that virgin queen within the first day or two of putting her in. And I have a feeling that the bees killed her off. And as I said earlier, potentially when she dropped off of the frame, it's the only logical reasoning I have, because I've done many introductions like this. I've done introductions before into a queen right hive, and generally when the bees accept her on the frame and you put her in, they don't ball her after that. I have had the odd occasion, but I don't think that was the problem here. I think maybe she fell off of the frame. Well, we know she did, and I then saw her in the box, and I think she was maybe confronted by a couple of worker bees. When I introduce them, I normally put them amongst the nurse bees, and then when you put them back in the hive, they stay amongst the nurse bees on that frame for a while, and they get accepted. But as soon as you've got the hive open, any foreign bee that comes into the hive is seen as a threat, and the bees know that their nest is exposed. And I have a feeling maybe when she dropped off the frame, the worker bees in the hive coming in and out would have seen her as a threat, and maybe they balled her just after we left. I've got no idea. So that's what I think might have happened to her, but nonetheless, we lost her. It does happen. We lost that queen. We've now got that supersedure cell, so at least we get to continue with our experiment, which is to try and get this queen laying at the bottom and to see if the bees will accept that as norm, or if they're going to still try and supersede this queen at the top. So we'll resume in a couple of days. I'll probably give this a good 4 or 5 days before we even inspect it. We might do a quick inspection to see if that cell has hatched, but I don't expect to see a laying queen in here for at least 14 days from now. So we're looking at towards the end of our lockdown. We're sitting today on the extension, and hopefully we'll have some good news at the end of the month with the lockdown, but as well as having this queen. And it's a beautiful cell. Looks like it's going to be a beautiful queen, so I'm really hoping and trusting that we'll have her laying in there. But thanks again, and be blessed.